Spirit Lords. Okay, cool. All right, I'm here checking out Spirit Lords with Kabam. Man, we'll go ahead and jump into the game and tell us a little bit about it.
So Spirit Lords is our first run at making a classic RPG. We built a team that, so Phil came from Blizzard, and then by way of Flagship, and then over to Kabam. I recently came from a very long stint at BioWare. I was the lead writer for Dragon Age Origins. I was the lead writer for, I was writer for Dragon Age Origins. I was lead writer for The Old Republic, lead designer for The Old Republic, and was really interested in getting someplace where we could actually get into the kind of RPGs where we thought RPGs were going to go, which was not giant, huge, amazing, crazy graphics for everything, but actually awesome sort of evolutions of our old school games. So Spirit Lords is a 4-player simultaneous action RPG built from the ground up to actually be specifically for the touchscreen.
Okay.
So that was the biggest single hurdle to try to get over, was not a V-pad game, not a turn-based game, not an apology for trying to be an old SNES game. It has a full story, it is a continual evolution, and it is it is a white hat free-to-play game. As a creative director, I come from the MMO world, where free-to-play is actually the preferred route, where that's always what's demanded. So it was kind of surprising to come into the mobile space and find out, like, oh, why are people against, oh, got it. Yes, so not that. So there are no paywalls, there's nothing you have to buy. It is hey, there's stuff you can buy. In other words, the entire Epic RPG is open for you. So I'll show you kind of some of the stuff right in the middle, and then we can show you from the beginning if you want to kind of look at some of the story stuff.
Yeah, let's jump in and do stuff.
Yeah, so we're running around in a real world. Unfortunately, in the live build, the one thing that's broken is chat, which is terribly embarrassing. But otherwise, so we've got here, the biggest difference in the actual IP is that you have, let's start here. This is classic and pretty much what you would expect, right? I'm a guy, I got loot. There are 2 classes that all have their own loot systems, their own abilities, all the stuff. This is the Barbarian class. Phil over here has got a Sorcerer going. Pretty classic system, you get this. The other side is your spirits. So your spirits are your additional piece for everything. There are a ton of different spirits in the game. It's a little bit of a Pokemon collection thing. Each of your spirits actually has their own, they have a different ability with them. So every spirit you collect has their own actually ability that it gives you. And instead of doing things based on sort of arbitrary pieces, all of the slots that the abilities can go into are actually gesture controls.
Okay.
So there is, because everything through it is actually gesture controls. So I will jump into a dungeon. Let's find the Fellas place. So it's a big map. It's a beautiful place. There's lots of exploration and stuff to do. The little spots down on the map there, if you see the little X there, is for treasure. So I could pop over there and say, hey, let's see if I'll get anything good from the treasure hunting. And that's
unlike a lot of action RPGs, you just have like static map, real world exploration. We wanted to create a social space where between the dungeons, where you see other people walking around, and it feels more like an MMO than just like a list of dungeons that you're going to without any context or sense of exploration.
So we're going to head to the dungeon that I'm going to invite Phil into, and we're going to run. One of the things that we did is, because there's a huge different level of type of people who come into the game, from the, hey, I played MMOs, I get all this stuff sort of simply, to, hey, I've never really even been in an RPG. The little feed up here, basically, connected to your quest log, will take you wherever you need to go if you need to sort of fast forward. So we're going to go to a repeatable piece. What am I? I'm 16. Okay, so we've got a level 15 here. So this is a quest line series. So one of the things right here, everything when you're taking on a dungeon is about risk versus reward. So all of your loot, if you go down, so if I'm going to go on easy, that's the best thing I can get there, is this little Sparky guy. I move it up 1 to normal.
There's more options.
Way more stuff. So everything is about taking all of the different types of spirits you have, and also, so the weakness for this dungeon, all the people in this are void, so there's all 5 elements. There's nature, water, fire, void, arcane. This guy is good against, he's glowing because he's good against those guys. He gets a bonus. You're trying to basically, that's your dungeon power, that's your power.
And then the meta power being the power of like all your spirits combined.
All your stuff. So this is me, my equipment, my spirits, and then my bonus for my rock, paper, scissors, basically.
Okay.
Right, because I got the arcane guy. So if we had more time, I'd stack more arcane guys, it'd go up. But normal's fine. I'm going to invite party. And
these are all like actual players.
These are actual players.
Real time.
Yep.
Yeah,
we've
got another guy here on the demo who's playing with us.
Okay, so over on Phil's, he hits he's got accept. Now I've seen he's actually in, so it's a very traditional sort of matchmaking system. And we're going to go in and play. You can play up to 4 players, and that really is a lot of the push. The highest difficulty ratings. The best way to go to complete that is to bring a bunch of friends.
Okay. And is there any kind of like dungeon? Is there like dungeon scaling for like if you have 2 people versus 4 people?
Yes. And what it is that the dungeon scaling for difficulty isn't actually 1-to-1. So if you get 4 people, it's not 4 times as difficult. So that's actually how you get over the head of the curve.
Okay. So you have sort of incentive for getting a party of 4 people together.
Yeah. So the basic pieces, everything is touch and move, or you can touch and hold. You have various pieces. So you have what we call a mobility, which is a tap somewhere that's not, double tap somewhere that's not you, so you'll jump. You have the directional, which is grab yourself and then pull back, and that does something. You have tap yourself. What this one does right now is he puts down a totem that gives himself haste and gives everybody else slow. And then you have your ultimate, which is you do other things, it builds up, you press, it does big things. These guys are health orbs.
And the buttons in the lower right corner, those are literally just to show you the indicators. Like you have to do the gestures to pull.
No, they're actually buttons as well.
Oh, okay.
So some people play a little bit of a hybrid. So I've watched people play with one hand and button with the other. I'm a fully finger player. There is a V-pad thing for people that are just V-pad purists. I really prefer the just straight out do it all through gestures. But it's a very adaptable system.
Are you thinking about having gamepad support as well?
I don't think gamepad supported. V-pad, yes. Gamepad, not on the
hardware gamepad, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, at some point, definitely.
At some point, hardware gamepad at some point.
Yes,
maybe.
but probably not for launch. So we are we're looking at April. So this is what you're seeing right now is getting pretty close.
Now, has this game been soft launched anywhere?
Yeah. So this is running live in Canada right now, which is why there's all the players on there.
Okay. And Denmark and Sweden.
Actually, it's in Brazil too.
Oh, that's right. We just went to Brazil.
And Brazil. Just launched in Brazil too.
So
now, outside of the abilities, are all your attacks like automatic?
So yeah. So you have one auto attack, but really you want to be using your abilities more than anything else.
Auto attack, they don't want to be attacked.
Yeah, so it doesn't. You still have to pick targets.
Tactical, that you don't have to like furiously tap.
So we got there are, we have levels that have puzzles going on for them. You've got treasure chests, things. Okay, that's not that gate.
There's another switch up here. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, but how long will you say do you have like any kind of target length for how long a dungeon session is going to go?
So the real basic ones are about 3 minutes. We know that it's a sit down and sort of grab it and play.
Right.
As you get further and further and higher difficulty levels, there are some pretty epic ones. If you're trying to run the hardest thing you can, so the Barbarian is definitely a damage sort of soaker. Okay, we can do this one thing. Oh, well, he's fighting. He doesn't want to do my puzzle. Oh, crap, there's a bunch of guys. Sorry, the Sorcerer is more of a kiter. If you're playing high-level Sorc and you're really trying to fight above your weight class, you can end up doing something that's going to turn into a 10-15 minute piece. But there's always a short dungeon you can grab if you want to as well. All right, light some torches. There we go.
Get those torches lit.
There we go.
I like that double tap to just jump there.
Yeah. Yes. And there's some really nice puzzles and stuff with that later on as well. where you'll start to realize, you'll look at something and be like, how do I even get to that chest? Oh, okay. So the dungeons are all built in a tile system, which allows us to, all the story dungeons that you go through are unique. They're totally done as their own pieces. But then we grab all of those tiles later, and we use those to build all the repeatables in a basically play forever random dungeon generation piece for that. So if you decide, you want to go back and grind some stuff, it creates some pretty interesting opportunities.
Now, I know you mentioned earlier that you kind of want this to be like a white hat free-to-play game. How are you ensuring that you do that?
So the easy one is just the basic rules. There is nothing in Spirit Lords that doesn't drop someone. If somebody wants to go and do the work, really we tend to monetize against time and convenience.
Okay.
So if you don't want to go run that crazy hard dungeon multiple times, hoping that you're getting the best drop off that boss, well, then you can take your premium currency and you can take your chance at, the relic machine. Where are you going?
And is premium currency something that you can earn by playing the game?
Absolutely. In fact, treasure hunting that you saw earlier is a great way to get premium currency. So we don't restrict it by levels, or I know we've noticed a lot of games where like, oh, well, you only get it when you do the story content, so it feels like you get a lot at the beginning, but then later, are we lost?
Something didn't trigger at the bottom here.
The good news is we're getting if y'all are lost, we're getting the authentic game experience. Who hasn't been lost in a dungeon crawler before?
Oh, okay, yeah, we're not lost, we're broke. This is beta. There are bugs. Yes, we broke. So we killed everything in the dungeon, and right here is where the exit stone would appear. That shows you the end of the dungeon, and it did not appear. So that is unfortunate. That is, however, our first breaking during demo time. The shame. Not out yet. Not done yet.
That'll hopefully that'll be fixed. Or
yes.
Maybe that's a surprise.
That's a surprise.
Play through a dungeon, and sometimes you just can't get out.
Yeah, you never know. Every day is a different piece.
Life is full of surprises.
So yeah, in a very base, what you'd expect doing in kind of a live feature. So I can go over and inspect somebody. I can see all of their different sets and what they're actually doing. I can see all their armor sets. I can check out everything about the different players. We've got a full so you've got your friends list, which is how you pull stuff from. You've got a full guild set. So, and guilds, so we've actually got a pretty popular guild at the point, because we have guild rewards, which go up by level. So a certain amount of your XP all goes to your guild XP as well. So things like you get more gold from dungeons, and Magic Find, which is, hey, you're rolling better on your loot rolls, are extremely popular. And so as soon as we hit level 14, which got us next level of Magic Find, we had a lot of people applying for the guild. And so you can set your guilds to be public, you can set them to be outsized. Other things, spirit missions. So you can send your spirits off to do other stuff while you're not playing. So there's kind of a reason for them all the time. These are all shards, which are for the spirit realm, which is we're not looking at today, but assume you want shards, because they're awesome. So you come in here. This mission requires 2 spirits. It is weak against water and defense because it is a fire mission into the fire realm. So I'm going to look through and, hey, this guy's water and defense. So he fixes both of those. But it's a level 20 mission, so we're going to need a little bit more power there.
Got a level 17 guy.
Yeah, okay, let's see how he does. He puts it up to average. Okay. So we'll send him off. It's going to be 2 hours and 30 minutes. So they vary quite a bit. This one's 6 hours, some of them are 15 minutes. So it's definitely I'm going to send my little guys off in shorter missions while I'm playing. When I finish up for my session, I'm going to send everybody off to make sure that, that they're getting the work out of them while they're there.
Right. The way that, back to the white hat thing, it's like, if you're willing to put in the time and keep coming back frequently to send your spirits off in missions, you can get a lot of the same stuff that you could get by manually playing. So we let you progress in alternate ways.
Cool. And you also said this, we might be able to see this worldwide hopefully sometime in April?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the one thing we have not seen here that I think is actually a really good of looking at So there's all sorts of RPGs that we love out in the realm of the mobile world. And one of the things that everything hasn't really pulled together, and a big reason why I think they went after me and said, hey, we're going to bring the BioWare guy in, is we have things that are action RPGs. You know, we love Battleheart Legacy, obviously, like, huge games. We have things that are multiplayer games, and we have things that are story RPGs. What we have not seen a lot of so far is bringing all of those together. So the other big part of this is Act 1, which is really to introduce the characters, introduce the setting, etc. We will take care of one of you go away. Act 1 itself, I wrote a 100-page script for.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and Act 1, the whole thing for this game is it is a continual piece. This whole drive for me was leaving the MMO stuff behind and to do what we always wanted to do, which is continual content, right? Where we've got a system where we can make content fast enough to actually stay ahead of the players. So I want to give you a little bit of a taste of kind of what story content feels like. And in fact, you should probably just go ahead and take.
Yeah, well, let's do this guy here and this guy, with blue hair. We got...
So the armor color coordinates everything, so all the parts of armor have a specific banding on them in certain touch places that actually changes the color, so you actually never look like a clown.
Okay.
So you're going to have a sort of a red-themed look once you get far enough in the Barbarian to actually get a shirt on. In the early days, you're just kind of...
The first things you do is take off your shirt.
Yes, because it makes you stronger. You know that works.
Yeah, of course, it's Barbarian.
Unfortunately, I'm running on cellular in this.
Yeah.
So
we'll have to give it a second.
You can choose for both classes. You can choose male or female, and we've got additional character classes planned post-launch. So we figured we'd pick two of the standard archetypes for launching with. And just keep adding on to it as we go.
Right. Okay.
Like I was just about to give up on him. All right, we're getting story.
All right, and this is what people will see like when they first fire up.
Yes,
fire up the game.
This is the beginning of the game.
And you're kind of hoping down the road to be writing more stories like Future Act.
Oh yeah, no. Act 2 is already in production. Like we've got a ton of it already ready and started to go. Like this is a commitment. And to be clear, Act 1 takes you through level 50. For the average player, that's going to be months of game time. So yeah. This is a continual concept of what I've always wanted to do was make the Eternal RPG.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting concept because RPGs are generally very, very finite.
Yes. Well, and especially if you don't have a live team, you ship what you got, and how many mobile RPGs have you played at this point where you said, "Oh, that was awesome," and then I played for a couple hours, and then the story kind of seemed to disappear, and then I kind of lost interest in it.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if you can pull that off with us.
So, we do some storytelling. We've actually got, we've got a good piece of like a basic cinematics engine to do stuff. We can do big set pieces without having to, go into doing cutaway scenes. We do everything in engine, but we've got all the tools to actually do a solid RPG.
Okay.
I tried to really go light on the tutorial too, like ease you through the basic mechanics via the story. So you're coming home. You're discovering that your town has been attacked by these gnolls, but you're learning how to play the game at the same time.
Okay.
And everything. One of the things that Daniel brought to the whole game was like integrate all the mechanics together into the world. So it's not just things layered on because they make sense for the purpose of being fun, but they actually make sense in the world. There's a reason to care about the spirits, a reason that the spirits are helping you. And unveiling the secret of what happened many, many hundreds of years ago in the world. and that'll help you fight the big threat that's looming, and as you're discovering through the course of Act 1.
Yeah, so it starts very small sort of scale, and you've got your village, and in the we've got a cool little cutscene here. In the classic fantasy thing, they've attacked your village and you have to save them, but in the non-classic one, you completely fail and you show up too late and everything's burned and everybody's dead. So obviously he's bad. So he's actually run off with all the relics that have the spirits in it. You're not aware at this point that this thing even exists, that there are spirits that can do these things, until these people come to your house, come to the village, and steal all of the urns of all of the ancestors. So you're kind of wondering why they took
rude.
Yes, so you're kind of wondering why the Gnolls took Grandma's ashes. And then later, as one of them uses it and crushes it and destroys her soul in order to power himself, you realize, okay, there's some bad stuff going on here.
This guy's a jerk.
Yes, he is a jerk. It is actually one of the things I really loved about the feel of the world and the art style that Phil and Mike, who's our art director, had created, is that because it is a pretty light feeling style, we can actually tell a pretty dark story, right? Like this guy's got like an axe in his head, and there's like things are bad things happen. We deal a lot with the dead and a lot of things, but because the art style is what it is, it doesn't feel like that sort of March of the Grim RPG that's just kind of trying to be dark for its own sake.
Yeah.
You have blue hair and you're not terribly
Still have a shirt on though. That's quite disappointing.
Oh, just wait. That's true. Time to bare chest is Hey, it looks like stuff you got automatically goes to your backpack. What's this cool outfit? I bet this will help. There you go.
You are officially graduated.
Yes. Little MMO things. We have a hide helmet button. We have all the inspect stuff. Like, we all come from classic RPG and MMO traditions, so we have a good idea of what that user base is looking for.
Yeah, we built a team that has more RPG experience than I've seen in a lot of companies that I've worked at. And a lot of, even if people don't have RPG experience, we have people that have worked on, shooters and strategy games and a lot of AAA PC games and console games. We wanted to set the tone for this game and for games that we make going forward inside of Kabam. That white hat monetization, but we're also just building games for the passion of making games. We love making games. We love playing games. We love seeing our fans react to the cool stuff that we come up with. We're trying to build games for mobile the same way we would build games for PlayStation or Xbox or PC or any other platform.
And kind of one of the interesting things is when we talked about, we did the early CI testing and some things on the games, and as we described what we were trying to do for the game, some of the stuff got marked lower that we didn't expect, like, the story and the action RPG, and when we asked why, they said, because that won't work on mobile. It was literally just disbelief.
Or if you haven't seen that, or it always sucks.
Yes, if you are saying this, we're just believing that you have lied to us. So this is really our sort of shot across the bow of saying, hey, we're going to make real action RPGs with all of the content and all of the stuff that you expect, fully featured, and we're going to do it multiplayer, because whether or not you're ever going to get as big a multiplayer group in the world of the mobile stuff, we're all hugely passionate about it.
And just bashing stuff with friends is a lot of fun.
It really is.
It is.
This game represents a huge investment in in time and money and creative energy for Kabam. It's one of the pivotal games that we're putting out there in this 2015.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing the final version. Gentlemen, thanks so much for showing off the game to us.
Absolutely.
Sure,
Thanks for
thank
having
you.
us,